Hey, how's it going, Joker fan? It's what haha Joker man, and today we're going to be going over one of the last videos of Madden 26. Obviously, giving my thoughts and opinions on Madden 26 going into Madden 27. Now, this is just going to be simply, I guess, some things that I would like to see go from Madden 26 going into Madden 27, but just overall, kind of give my ranking, if you would. Now, obviously, I play this game a little bit differently than most, I guess. So everybody's gonna be entitled to their own opinion. When you have played this game for as long as and as much as I have, you're gonna have a little bit difference of opinion based on the majority of people who just get on, just want to play, want to have fun, whatever so have. You know what I'm saying? So like certain things like double covered picks that should be picked but end up being incomplete even though it's thrown in a double coverage. Um those things are annoying, but it's not going to overall like determine my thoughts and opinions on the overall game. You see what I'm saying? So um as it is, man, we're gonna go ahead jump into it, right? So I'm gonna keep it real short, real quick. Number one being right, and I've done this video in the past, but number one thing that EA typically does well is content, right? So content, in my opinion, has been very well this year. I have very little complaints about what they've put out, who they put out in some of these programs. Clearly, everything from the typical stuff, the zero chill stuff like that, but flashbacks was done really well. Free agency promo was done well. Goes to Madden, golden tickets. I'm pretty sure I didn't have like a serious issue with like any one promo. I think if I'm not mistaken, nah, like and especially when it comes to like certain things that they did too with the weekly wild cards, being able to essentially get free set cards at least. That was huge this year, so them implementing that with the certain promos, your team of the weeks, your the weekly promos that came out, flashbacks, stuff like that. Those things help the ULs, the legend players, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, sometimes we got raiders that were set raiders, and sometimes we were LTD raiders, and being able to have the option to get a set raider for free, that helps out coin wise for sure. So content, like I said, very very good. No complaints with that. Right now, getting into, I guess, another thing that I think what makes Madden good every year, you know what I'm saying, or what should make Madden good every year, the competitive aspect of it. Like how competitive was this year's game versus previous years, and they've done nothing but build upon that. Head-to-head rank, very competitive. Obviously you have your gauntlet mode, very competitive in that nature, and the event mode that they added in. The event mode was very competitive this year. On the competitive aspect, I would like them to, I guess, kind of do a little bit more with squads, in my opinion. Squads is a nice feature in this game. I feel like it gets kind of left behind with like just regular head-to-head in this game. When it comes to Ultimate Team, at least, I feel like squads is kind of left behind. I feel like they can do a little bit more with that. Maybe add a little bit of a rank system or something like that, or like a gauntlet mode for squads. Just kind of build upon that. There are people a little weird in my opinion, but there are people that come out and they just kind of build their team based around whether you're offense or defense. Some people only build an offense, some people only build a defense, and there you go. That's it. You know what I'm saying? They play squads throughout the whole year, and again, I get why people do it, you know what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, it kind of will help move squads a little bit into that competitive range. You know what I'm saying? Squads is fun, you know what I'm saying? Play with your with your homeboy, or if you're running threes, play with three people, whatever. But like adding that competitive nature to it, a rank system, if you would, I think will help kind of push it along a little bit better. But ultimately, the competitive aspect, I don't have a problem with that. So, in my opinion, it's two things. EA's done well this year. The next thing, which is probably be the most long-winded thing in this video, to be honest with you, everything else is going to be kind of going quickly. Gameplay. So, gameplay, there's things to take away from it, and there's things that obviously can be improved. The biggest thing that if we've known from EA Sports is that, at least from what I've been seeing from EA Sports, is that they try to take all of these different things, see if they work, and then they continue to build upon it in the next upcoming years, right? We've seen it with freeforming, now we've seen it with switch sticking. These things are huge when it comes to, these things are big time when it comes to building upon Madden games. You know what I'm saying? Just hoping next year is going to be better, hoping next year is going to be better. Now, with these aspects, these things help gameplay. Once again, throwing a ball into double coverage and not having the ball get picked off, yes, it is annoying, but it's not something I'm going to harp on when it comes to gameplay issues, right? One particular thing that I have an issue with gameplay wise is that, well, we've kind of seen it a little bit with more so with the aspect of whether or not players are going to do what you expect them to do when you want them to do, right? We've had already seen what Madden 27 is coming out with, right? One of the things that I always have playing in my head, right, is the catch meter now, right? The catch meter is one of the big things now, right? That I forgot who the guy was who was talking about it. I probably will put the clip up here if I could find it.
Is that now, for the first time ever, the choice is yours. And you know what else I love it? Oh, gee, I can't catch the ball, man. Your game's broke. Fix your game, man. Okay, well, go turn the setting on, pal. Here you go. Go have at it.
But he said what he said, right? You don't like how the catches are, do it yourself. And I've been preaching that for the longest. If you don't like how something is happening in the game, do it yourself. EA, this is what we want. Well, I'm not going to say we. This is what I want, right? I want to control as many aspects of the game as possible. When I ask players to do something, I want them to do it. Or if I don't ask them to do something, I don't want them to do it. Period. It should be that simple. But there are cases where it's not that simple, right? Now, something that I'm going to show you, and something that I've always had a problem with in this game, is the online, right? Online kind of has been, the trenches have always been a weird thing, you know what I'm saying, that EA just seemingly can't get right. But to me, it should be easy to get right, at least in certain aspects. But I'm gonna show you this clip, right? I'm gonna show you this clip and show you guys what's going on, right? So real quick, this is what we have, right? Now we have this route concept up real quick, right? We have the double angle routes. This is what I'm looking for, right? I want the user to make a play, right? Because here's the thing. Throughout this whole game, because it's fourth quarter, 5 seconds left, right? No timeouts. This is the last play of the game. He's been in man coverage. I know these angle routes are not going to get boxed up by man coverage. Just too high safeties. Like I said, he's been man coverage the whole game. He's going to have to make a choice, right? And it's obvious to me what choice that's going to have to be. But again, comes down to what does your O-line do and what they don't do. Now, real quick, I want to show this, right? Let me see if I can get it right at the time. Boom, right here. Okay. Now, here's my problem. Right here. EA Sports is showing me who is being picked up and who is not. The two flames on their heads, these guys are being ignored. So if they come in and rush, I'm getting sacked because nobody's picking them up. But once again, I know he's in man coverage. I'm not worried about these guys, right? I know my left tackle is supposed to pick up the edge. I know my left guard is supposed to pick up the linebacker. I know my center is supposed to pick up the guy right above him. I know my right guard is supposed to pick up 81 Calvin Johnson. And I know my right tackle is supposed to pick up the edge rusher on that side. I know who's picking up who. There shouldn't be an issue outside of a shed happening. Now, once again, fast forward a little bit. Boom, off rip. Why? Why do I have 3 offensive linemen completely shifted to one side? Why is the D tackle completely untouched? And what is my left guard doing? What is my entire O-line doing? Right? This is my problem with this game. And now Bo Jackson is free. Right? Keep in mind too, I have players overlapping each other. I forgot who this is. I think that's Linderbaum, if I'm not mistaken. No, number 69, he's not blocking nobody. 64 is like engulfed. There's 3 people. 3 of my offensive linemen are merged together in front of Trent Brown, not blocking anybody. My right guard and my center are not blocking a single person. But according to what I saw, Linderbaum should have been picking up the guy that's currently free in my backfield. Keep in mind too, understand how much time is on the clock. There was 5 seconds to start this play. And already 1 second in, I have somebody running in free almost 5 yards away from me. But if everything would have picked up the way it's supposed to, I would have had Bo Jackson. I would have had Eric Dickerson wide open on this route because that's where I was going. I was going to go to Eric Dickerson because I already knew he wasn't going to get back with his user to pick this up. I already knew this. And how did I know this? Because of the play before. So 8 seconds now in this game, right? Do a dot, got out of bounds, yada, yada, yada. Right? Here's what gets me. Looks familiar, right? Just with 8 seconds left, right? Double angle routes, right? Gotta pick one, right? Now keep in mind, like I said, this is before the first clip. I wanted to show you guys the first clip to let you know on who I was going to. I was already going to go to Dickerson, right? And this is why. But couldn't do it because keep in mind what we have going on. Same concept, right? Let me see if we can... Hold up. Let me see if we can get the blocking assignments up here. Do I show the blocking assignments? No, we don't. Okay. So blocking assignments didn't come up. But either way, right? This is what we have, right? Tyler Linderbaum picks up exactly who he's supposed to. Now, actually, I do want to show this. Since we didn't have the blocking assignments come up at all, right? Let's go ahead and start it from here. Blocking assignments never come up, which means I never double team, right? We don't double team anybody. Not a single person's double team. Yet a blitzer comes in free. Now I want to keep this in mind too. We already know where the ball was going. It was going right to the crumb. This was touchdown. This was game. This right here, that's GG's. This is game over. Right? This is game. But blocking, right? Trenches. So here's my problem, right? Stop it right here. Why are we double teaming on the left side? This is my problem with the gameplay, right? There's a mechanic in the game that allows us to double team players. But the game will automatically do it for you. Why? Why can't my left guard just sit there and wait? Why does he have to auto double team? For what? And keep in mind too, like I said already, this guy didn't have a flame over his head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess we won't know because he had the icon up, but I didn't ignore him. So he should have been getting picked up. So why is it, that we have this going on, right? We have a double team on the center, a double team on the left tackle, and we have a blitzer coming in free. Why? How? How is this happening? Right? So comes in free and yada yada yada. We already know what happens. So this is my problem. We have mechanics in the game that to me seem kind of useless. Because what's the point of having double teaming in the game if the game's just gonna auto do it whenever it wants to? If I have the choice to double team, I should have the choice to not double team. And if I'm not double teaming, there shouldn't be an auto double team. The game should not be double teaming for me. My guard should be sitting there in his spot, waiting to pick up whoever he needs to pick up, which easily would have been the blitzer, running right at him if he was where he was supposed to be at. Right? But again, not nearly as egregious as the last clip that I showed you, where my O-line completely dumbed out. That I showed you exactly where everybody was supposed to pick up. And not only did they do the exact opposite of that, my center and my right guard all merged together on one side of the field. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that, it's a problem, right? But with this whole thing with what that guy said, right? You don't like how catches are being made and this and that? Fine, then do it yourself. Bet, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. But can we keep that same energy for every aspect of the game? I don't want you double teaming for me. Let me do it myself. I don't need y'all help for that. I don't. I don't want it. I don't want auto double teams. If I have the mechanic in the game to do it, I'll do it myself. Simple. But things like that, it makes and breaks the game, in my opinion. So at the end of the day, gameplay, it's like, I don't know. I can't give it a full okay, it's good. It's more like 50-50 at best. So, if we had to do it on a star system, I'd say it's like 2.5 stars right now. In some cases, I probably wouldn't even give it a full. You don't even give it half a star, because I can't say that. I'll give it half a star because gameplay has been worse in past years. But stuff like that, that's unacceptable. That's my 2 cents on that. Again, like I said, there's certain aspects that I did like. The switch sticking was good. Free-forming was good. Offense didn't feel too overpowered. I mean, defense was like hard as hell to play, but I would say offense didn't feel too overpowered. Let me change that. Neither running the ball nor passing the ball felt like it was too overpowered. Like, it's not like Madden 20 running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. So like nothing offensively felt too overpowered in that aspect. But playing defense was very difficult if you weren't a good switch sticker. And I think that's kind of where EA's kind of play was that if you were good at switch sticking, you could take more stuff away and play better defense. If you weren't, then you'll just be stuck with the basic BS that comes with what happens to man coverage, what happens to zone coverage, which they somewhat fixed zone coverage in Madden 27. So giving us more of that, well, if you don't like how your zones are playing, do it yourself type of thing. Thank you. Kind of now need that for the trenches. Kind of need that for the O-line now, if it's not too much to ask. But either way, so another aspect, in my opinion, when it comes to Madden, right, is more so the I don't know how to really word it very well, but I would say the money that kind of goes into this game, essentially. You know what I'm saying? How the cost of things in this game, because that's what makes this game what it is. That's what makes Ultimate Team what it is the microtransactions. How much is your team going to be worth? X, Y, and Z. Is it going to be expensive? Is this a money grab type of game? Right? Stuff like that. So I would say no. I don't think this year was a money grab type of year. You feel me? Were certain cards expensive at certain points? Yes. But at some point in times, like, things became a little bit more manageable. Once again, due to the event mode, right? This event mode helped out a lot, right? If you were good enough, right? If you didn't want to buy packs, if you didn't want to buy bundles and all this other stuff and keep doing this week after week, or how often you get new cards, right? You get the event mode in, right? You're looking at a card that's at least 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 mil, depending on how early you get the card or what point of the year that you're in, right? Because a little while ago, about a month or so ago, you know, Brandon Marshall came out for the positional heroes. That card was going for about 3 mil easily. You know what I'm saying? So you go get yourself some wins or whatever, you do that, and then bam, you get a card that's worth 3 mil, right? So there was coins to be made without having to buy packs, without having to buy bundles. And I think that's a big thing, especially this year going forward, is that like these things can't change. You know what I'm saying? If you're good enough at the game, then cool. If you want to spend money on the game, go ahead. Because I was able to complete some of the event modes. I was able to get some of these cards that were worth a lot, but I still found myself having to spend a little bit of money here and there. You know, a little 20 here, maybe a little 50 here, whatever the case is. Obviously, I kind of go all out at the beginning of the year, but that's the beginning of the year, right? But like I said, a little $20 here, whatever. Buy some little platinum packs, little platinum bundles, and then we're good. We're good on coins. And that's kind of what it is. And on top of that, like I've already stated this previously, the weekly wild cards, I don't think they're called weekly wild cards. What's this called again? Because I'm keep saying weekly wild cards, weekly spotlights. So the weekly spotlight tokens, this helped out, right? This helped out big time, right? Because these things aren't very hard to get. And on top of that, like I said, you can access a lot of the set cards in all of these different promos. Like I said, the Legend promo was one of them, the Ultimate Legend promo, the Flashback promo, Team of the Week promo, all these, a lot of these different promos. I forgot which other ones there were too. But again, you got access to a lot of set cards in these promos. I said UL. I can't. Oh, the collector series. You know what I'm saying? All the outside the LTEs, you got access to the collector series cards too, which were big time for a lot of teams. You know what I'm saying? So having that too helped out with coins a lot, big time, because some of these set cards typically go for around anywhere from 400 to 600K, right? So being able to get those cards for free, I'm with that, right? So to me, this year wasn't a money grab year. You know what I'm saying? They gave us access to get cards that held price, but they weren't behind a paywall. You know what I'm saying? The event cards weren't behind a paywall. Just be good enough. The gauntlet cards, obviously, aren't behind a paywall. Just be good enough. Top 100 cards, same thing. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of different ways. And again, the weekly spotlight, you know, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You get a free card that would normally be worth anywhere from 400 to 600K. Get it for free. Right? So I would say this year wasn't a money grab year. 3.5 stars in my opinion. And then of course my final take on it, right? My last thing to me that makes a Madden game is what I take more from this year going into next year and say that, okay, from what I've seen this year, if they build upon this, will we have a better game in Madden 27? I would say yes. So that's a star right there. And what I mean by that is that can we say that I was looking like in these past Maddens, like Madden from Madden 20, I wasn't expecting much going into Madden 21, nor in Madden 22, right? To me, the game didn't really start getting back to being what I thought it should be till about Madden 24, right? So we're talking about 24, 25, and now we're on 26. I would say it was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I'm pretty sure by other ranking videos in those games, I think I gave them pretty good rankings too. But again, you gotta have something to build off of, right? And I think there's a lot to build off of this year's Madden going into next year, right? We already know that they're tweaking the abilities now, tiers, I guess. They're tweaking that to be more like CFB, which is huge because I loved how CFB did their ability tiers, right? Switch sticking is coming back, right? We're getting more involved in how zones work, how match covers works. We're getting more hands on the game. We're controlling more stuff in the game. EA's giving us more options. Now you don't have to control nothing, right? You can just run everything default, everything base, and let the game play for you. You can do that. But if you're good enough and you understand the game enough, this is now getting into this part of Madden that now we're starting to have more skill gap, which is very, I would say, somewhat new to Madden, because obviously the skill gap between someone like Henry, your John B's, your Dreenies, and all these other guys, right? That skill gap from them, they're in their own sector. But like everybody else can be beaten by some, you know what I'm saying, by a nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not a lot of skill level. Sometimes it could just be DDAs, bro. Just not go your way. But now we're getting more hands on the game. You know what I'm saying? Now we're able to say that I want my zone to do this, this, this. I want this zone to do this, this, and this. And I want this to do this, this, and this. All because I already know by second half, I already know what my opponent wants to do. When he comes out in bunch, I know he wants to do this. I'm going to have this set up. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to have that box up. I know when he comes out in this, I know he wants to do this, this, and this. I'm going to have that boxed up. There you go. Skill gap. Knowing what your opponent's doing and shutting it down completely. Right? And not just depending on, well, man, I hope my man coverage does what it's supposed to do. I hope my zone coverage does what it's supposed to do. I mean, and even in some cases, even if your zone coverage doesn't do what it's supposed to do, you can switch stick and get there and make them do what they're supposed to do. That's a skill gap. These things are skill gaps that help improve the game, in my opinion. Now, for your regular Joe Schmo, no, they're probably not going to have much fun in the game. They're not. But this is football. This is one of the most strategic sports. It's supposed to be strategic. You have 22 men on the field all doing something. You know what I'm saying? And all of it is based off of what you see on film and all this other stuff. So if I could come out in the game and I know, bam, I know exactly what my opponent wants to do because, you know, he's running the meta and I know what the meta is, then I should be able to lock it up no problem. That's the way it should be, right? But It hasn't been for a long time. Obviously, them introducing the Switch Stick, it did help with that. But now it's helping even further, right? It's taking it to that next step, that next level of now you gotta use this. Because a lot of people that play this game don't have to do that. EA Sports will just kind of, play it for you, get you some goofy stuff here and there, and then boom, now you beat somebody that honestly you probably shouldn't have beaten. But hey, you got the dub either way, right? Because I just showed you the clip of what happened, right? I knew exactly what was going on. I knew exactly what my read was going to be. I knew exactly what I needed to do to win that game. But EA said differently. EA felt like bunching up my the entire, from my center to my right side of the field of my O-line. They decided to bunch up everybody to that one side of the field, despite what my blocking assignments had showed me. And that's just the way it goes. What can you do? What can I do? Nothing. I gotta hold that up. But does that mean my opponent was better than me? No, not at all. So hopefully this kind of takes away from that. With all of these different things going on with Madden, obviously gameplay is going to be the one thing is going to elude EA from ever being a 5 out of 5 for me, right? It's always going to be gameplay. But all of these different things that they do when they are not making a money grab game, putting everything behind a paywall, when they continue pushing out great content for this game, right? When they decide that we're going to now be able to amplify and continue to grow this game going into next year, we're going to take the things that worked, right? The event mode, that worked. The weekly spotlight tokens, those work. Bring those to the game. We do that, we're making a better game going forward. You feel what I'm saying? And that to me is big time. That is very, very important. When you take all these different things that, in my opinion, make the game a 4.5 out of 5, and you bring that into next year's game, you get that one step closer to being a 5 out of 5, to actually being a good football game, what it was supposed to be, what it should be, right? So hopefully they do that. Y'all let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys agree with my take? Again, feel free to disagree. I know some people will. Let me know in the comment section below. What did you guys enjoy about Madden? Let me know what you guys disliked about Madden. And you guys can give me your ranking. You guys can give me, 0 out of 5 or, 0 to 10. Whatever you guys want to give. But y'all let me know honestly. You know what I'm saying? I know some people just like to hate on EA just to hate. Again, trust me. Y'all have seen these streams. Y'all have seen these videos. I'm not sitting here fucking... oh, EA is such an amazing company. They're doing such an amazing job. No. Right? But when they're doing right, I got nothing to say. They doing what they doing right. You know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know, honestly, what do you guys think about Madden 26? And also, too, let me know, are you guys excited for Madden 27? Also, make sure you guys drop a like. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man. It's free. Only takes 1 second. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right? Peace.